Hello, so this video is going to be a quick COVID sort of update video of what's going on in the UK, and ignore the aircon being on with it being really hot, and this will come into the video in a bit. Just have to deal with it. So anyway, there's been a lot of stuff in the news recently with COVID, and I've not really done any COVID videos for a while because it's all been very samey. You know, easing restrictions very slowly in a lot of places, or restrictions come back in if they get a spike in cases, sort of thing. So what this video is going to be about is all the stuff that's recently happened in the UK. So we had what was meant to have been called Freedom Day, where we were meant to get lots of the freedoms pre-pandemic back, and that's not really materialised. What sort of happened regarding this is they've basically said you don't really need to wear a face mask inside anymore unless you want to. You know, and it's a lot of it is use common sense. So they're basically doing a thing of we're going to put this on the people rather than, you know, mandate, which is good in a way. But that's also where you get a lot of problems. And then the government said, well, we told people they had the, you know, the freedom of choice, and they chose not to make the right choice. So you've got that sort of thing going back on. Vaccination rates are very good. Vaccination is now available to everybody 18 and over in the UK. So a lot of people over 18 now have been single jab, if not double jabbed. So that's good, but obviously it's still a choice if you want the vaccine or not. There's a lot of discussion going on, should children be given vaccines? Again, that's a scientific thing. It's not down for somebody like me to make a decision on that, and it shouldn't really be down to politicians to make choices like that. It should go off of, well, you know, documented scientific data. My personal opinion is, if children get coronavirus but they don't really get very ill from it, they only die if they're, like, you know, have comorbidities and that sort of thing. My personal opinion would be children don't need a vaccine, especially if they can catch it and recover. I know some of the arguments are, well, they could catch it and pass it on, but the thing is, if the people they're going to pass it on to are already vaccinated anyway, it doesn't really matter. They might as well get natural immunity through catching it and then getting antibodies that way. So the main version we have going around the UK at the moment is the Delta variant, or a derivative of the Delta variant, and that's the India variant before they got PC and changed the name. I think it's easier to know where they came from via the name, like, you know, Kent UK variant, India variant, you know, all that sort of stuff, South African variant rather than Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma, you know, X-Ray, Zulu, all these sort of different variants names. So, anyway, now, part of the thing that's going on which is causing a lot of controversy is regarding vaccine passports. So when they did the Freedom Day thing, they said basically lots of things are going to reopen, but some places might require you to be double vaccinated to get in. Now I really don't like this because that's sort of forcing people to get vaccinated. Again, I've had both vaccines myself, only had very mild side effects of feeling a bit fluey from the first one. The second one, no side effects at all. I've heard the same thing from lots of people. One of the two jabs made them feel tired or, you know, a bit achy. That was it. It was gone within a day or two. Obviously, I know there's like a 1 in 10 million chance you might get a blood clot or a heart attack from a vaccine, but, you know, there's much higher risk chances if you get COVID. So obviously this video is not to debate that sort of stuff, but I don't like the idea that the government might mandate that you need vaccines or need certain medical procedures done to get into certain places. That sounds very restrictive. Because again, I wouldn't mind if a particular restaurant or pub or whatever was left to their own devices to say, we would like people coming in to have a proof of a negative test, like a PCR or a lateral flow test done this day or yesterday, to say you're clear or you're double vaccinated. If you can prove it, either of those, you can come in, and that's down to the restaurant, you know. And then if you didn't like that, you could go eat somewhere else. I know there's always arguments about could you or couldn't you go eat somewhere else and that sort of thing, but you're never going to have a proper answer to that. So again, I don't, even though I'm pro-vaccination in the most part, I don't like the idea of the government being allowed to say, you know, we're going to force people to be vaccinated to get into places, because if you can't be vaccinated for certain medical or religious reasons, that doesn't seem quite right to me. Now, the other thing is what they're calling the Pingdemic. So basically, there's a government track and trace app that was completely, you know, up to you whether you wanted to use it or not. So it wasn't mandatory. At the start of the pandemic, I was using it, and where I worked, we had a couple of problems with it, where when there were actual COVID cases, the app didn't pick up on it at all. When there weren't COVID cases, people got pinged, and, you know, then had to go get tests before they could go back to work and all that sort of stuff. So personally, I took the opinion after we had several incidents of it not working, thinking it's not working properly, I'm not going to bother with it, you know, because it's, again, your own choice if you use it or not. So I haven't used it for ages, but apparently now there's a problem where lots of people are getting pinged and having to self-isolate, even though they've not really come into contact with COVID or they're double jabbed. And this has caused an actual problem where certain jobs don't have the staff to go in to do them. So again, the government's now apparently relaxing the rules on that, at least in regards to if you get pinged for certain things, if you have certain jobs and you're double jabbed, you don't have to worry about it. I don't see why that isn't the case for everything, but whatever. Now, the one thing was apparently it was causing shortages in supermarkets. However, the funny thing about this is, yes, I do agree that with having less HGV drivers because of Brexit and, you know, all that sort of stuff, and all people having to self-isolate, yeah, maybe there is some damage to supply lines. However, any of the shops I've been in or seen on the news where they're showing you stuff being out of stock, it's all been stuff that people would like to eat or drink, like ice cream or beer and stuff like that, in hot weather. And it's been very hot recently, you know, it's been above 30 Celsius pretty much everywhere in the UK for days on end. There's been a heat wave, you know, that's obviously killed people for a heat stroke. Where I am, it regularly gets to 40 Celsius because the heat gets trapped in the buildings, and then, you know, that's why the aircon's constantly running, because houses insulated for the winter and not good during the summer. So anyway, the point being that the stuff that's selling out in shops seems to be ice cream and like beer or Coca-Cola, Pepsi, that sort of stuff, out of the chiller cabinets. And again, that might just be because it's really hot, not because of anything to worry about with COVID. So anyway, the point is, for anybody around the world wondering what's going on in the UK, or if you're in the UK and you've not really been following the rules, the government sort of relaxed the rules, but they've also done some stuff where they've basically said, yeah, but we're going to change, you know, we're going to change the rules as we go along. You know, I'm altering the deal, pray I don't alter it further. They're doing that, and that's obviously not good. And this is obviously after Hancock did hands, face, arse and got caught doing it. You know, the person setting the rules broke the rules and all that. But yeah, so it's just hypocritical government stuff, really. If you didn't know about any of the updates going on, that's mostly what it is.